since then, I've really been chilling on the dating. Nothing like being humbled to put you back on the bench. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ciera, and whether this is your first time or you're back for more, I'm so glad you're here with me today. We are catching up about life, all the things, life, dating, work. What else? Braces, hello, got those. We're just talking about it all. I got some vlog footage in here for you guys as well for things that I've documented over the past 3 months. But enough yapping, let's get into it. Hopefully you enjoyed the new intro. I've been working hard on some rebranding. I know I was away for a little bit, but hopefully the new branding makes up for it. I'm really excited for you guys to see everything that comes along with it. Excited. Over the past 3 months, I feel like so much has changed. I am going to moisturize my lips. Guys, I cannot rave enough about this lip balm. I actually used it for the first time today. I applied this first coat this morning at 8:20 a.m. It is currently 4:20 p.m. Can you guys see that? And it's still on my lips. I've been to the grocery store, I've eaten hot fries, I've drinking an energy drink out of a can. I have literally consumed so much, talked so much, and it's still on my lips, which says a lot. I actually got this in an empty bag for the month, and she will always be on me. Keep that thing on me. It's so glossy, but I'm gonna put this on now just to prep for our lip combo at the end. You guys know we don't do dry skin, dry lips around here. We don't do none of that. And honestly, this is the first product I had from this brand, so it makes me want to see what other products they have. And if I try them out and love it, I will definitely let you guys know. Not to mention, it's so thick on the lips, so glossy. Y'all, my lips look so juicy right now. I'm like, mwah, who want a kiss? I'm just kidding. That was so unnecessary. Starting off with the Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. I like to have a nice even base when doing my makeup, so I'm just gonna use this around my mouth. Starting off, we can do the most obvious, which is I have braces now. And I know I kind of talked about this in my last video, but I wanted to save the true details for this video because I feel like there's so many of my friends and family members who were like, why did you get braces? Like, your teeth were perfectly fine. And I feel like it's one of those things where you notice things, especially being on camera. I look at myself a little bit more often than the average person. It's not normal to watch videos of yourself constantly, and it can be really easy to get in the frame of mind where you're like, why does I look like that? I had braces when I was 16, I believe. Yeah, and I kept the braces for 2 years. I originally had some spacing in my teeth, so it originally closed that up, and for the most part it stayed closed. I feel like it's the normal oldest tell sign, you know. I just realized I didn't put on any primer. You know what? It is what it is. So yeah, I had braces for 2 years, got them off when I turned 18 right after graduating high school before going to college. I feel like it's the normal story, you know. I had a retainer, didn't wear it, and you know, in my defense, I wore the retainer. I was at a cookout, I was having me a good old time, and someone who, you know, shall remain nameless, you know, I can't really put all the blame on them. I put my retainer, I took it out to eat, and I put my retainer in a napkin right next to my plate. I got up, got to yapping, y'all know me, and I came back. And my napkin was gone, and I was like, hey, where's the napkin I put right here? And you know, I got to asking around the party. I went over and my aunt was like, oh my gosh, I threw that away. And I was like, that was my retainer, actually, girl. That is the story of how it went away. Unfortunately, at the time, I had just graduated college when that happened. I was getting ready to move up here to the DMV, and I was saving money, and I didn't have like $300 to just go get another retainer. So I was like, you know, I'll get it down the line. Ask me when down the line came. It came when I went to that orthodontist office to get these braces on, and my teeth had slowly shifted just a little bit on the top, and then of course, you know, my bite changed as well. So it had gotten to a point where I noticed the difference in my own teeth, and I just didn't like the appearance anymore. I knew I could get it again, covered by insurance, so I was like, you know what, let's do this again. And we're gonna wear a retainer this time, especially because we're grown and, you know, we have the money to get another retainer if I lose it. So back in February, I ended up getting the braces on. I can't decide between the Danessa Myricks Skin Tint, and then I've also been loving the Maybelline foundation. Where is it? Hello? What the heck? Well, now I can't decide because I can't find the other foundation. I know it's around here somewhere. Here it is. I'm deciding between the skin tint and then this Maybelline foundation. I've kind of been leaning a little bit more towards the Maybelline foundation these days, if I'm being honest. And I typically use like 2 pumps of this. In case you're my shade twin, I am in the shade 370. I am like a deep neutral toned girl. I know most people, when they look at me, they're like, oh, you have warm undertones. No, babe, because if I put that on my skin, I'm gonna look like somebody's red Oompa Loompa. I am applying this with the Sephora collection number 47 brush. Back in November, I was just kind of like, okay, you know, the more time passes, the longer I'm gonna have this on. And I feel like for a lot of people as adults, they're like, braces are for kids. Y'all, braces are for anybody who needs their teeth fixed. I feel like so many people were like, you're an adult, you're gonna look like a child. And I'm not gonna lie, I do look like a child. I already look young, especially in corporate settings, but now I really look young. But I'm like, if I start it now, I'll be done sooner. Got them put on in February, and they told me about 2 years, which honestly is crazy. It's crazy, and I'm hoping for less. They told me 2 years. I'm sorry, it's not gonna be 2 years because I'm gonna be on top of my P's and Q's. So right now we're looking at getting them off in November of 2028. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. I feel like another question I got from like family and friends was, well, why didn't you do Invisalign? And y'all, if I can't keep the retainer in, now why would I be able? I know myself. I feel like that's really the difference between if you can do Invisalign and if you can do braces. Putting in new trays hurts, y'all. It's like getting your teeth retightened, except you the one who got to put on the trays. And I know myself. I am not going to do that. And so that was my main reason that I went for this. I also am not a fan of the bumps on the teeth. That's just me. I feel like, I mean, granted, anything on your teeth is going to be noticeable, but I feel like that for me is like super noticeable. And so that was enough for me to be like, yeah, no. I definitely say get what works for you. Typically, insurance isn't going to cover anything that is cosmetic, and technically Invisalign is deemed cosmetic. Depending on the situation, I know some people are able to get it like covered by their insurance, so that's definitely something to check with. But for me, braces were covered, and it was a lot cheaper for me to be able to do it covered by insurance, and I really didn't mind. I definitely think in my vlogs, I'm gonna document the braces journey a little bit more. I don't know if I'll be one of those people that does like braces updates. We're not doing that. For my concealer, I am going in with the House Labs concealer. This is in the shade Medium Deep Golden. You guys know this is one of my favorite concealers. I've been thinking of trying the Hourglass or the Natasha Denona concealer, just because I've heard such good reviews about it. But right now we're almost to the bottom of this bottle, and I already have another one lined up, so I figured I might get it down the road and try it with you guys. That was pretty much the month of February. On the dating tip, I actually did something really crazy to put myself out there, and it didn't go well. It did not go well, and I just took that as my sign that, you know what, let's chill. I just haven't really been focused on dating or anything like that. Now, I want to be very clear. I think I'm gonna make another video of like my dating kind of do's and don'ts of like things that I would do, but I can say right now, you know, never say never, but no, I'm not ever gonna post my partner online. That's just me. Y'all know how these men be out here acting? Hello? Like, I'm not tying myself to you online anywhere. What if we break up and I gotta see pictures of you online? Hello? No, I'm not doing that. So I think my approach to dating right now is like, I'll talk about dating on here, like the act of dating, my dating advice, my dating journey, blah, 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 blah. But like, are y'all gonna come on here and see a man in the back of my video? No, this ain't that kind of party. So yeah, let's see, that was in February actually. Basically, we were at the same church. We had brief interactions, and I ended up just kind of like going up to him because at that point I was just like, okay, I'm sick of the games. Like, and that was really different for me simply because I feel like, call me old school, I don't care. I feel like men should approach the woman. That's my personal perspective, and you can do what works for you. I decided to break my personal perspective, and it didn't pay off, which further emphasized my personal perspective. I'm not saying it doesn't work for women. I do think for some reason men are attracted to women who come up and approach them. That's something else to unpack, because why are you attracted to a woman taking over? In that sense, be a leader. But you know, this is the Huda Beauty, what is this called? This is the Huda Beauty Blush Filter Liquid Blush in the shade Strawberry Cream. This has been my jam recently. You guys know I've been using this for a while. I finally went and got the full size, but I'm definitely gonna use up this trial size. I also mix it with the Black Cherry color. That's a little bit deeper, just to kind of tone it out. But recently in my Ipsy bag, I actually got the shade Guava something. It's like a really bright pink, and I kind of want to try it. So I'm gonna save it for a video where we're trying a bunch of new makeup out. I really love this mixture. It's like perfect for summer. But I've also really been loving the Sephora collection blushes. They're like a multi-purpose cream blush. I got like a bunch of colors. Y'all, don't sleep on the Sephora collection. They have hits over there, okay? That's really the only dating update, because I mean, what's there to update? Kind of want to try this simply because I'm only filming today. So like, if this doesn't really work long term, there's no real fault. I also need to get another one of these. This has been my favorite product recently. I know I did a TikTok video explaining to you guys beauty products that I would want to buy again. I think I'm gonna start posting shorts from TikTok over on YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. Not too much. Just something to set all of that in, and I'm gonna let that dry down. Since then, I've really been chilling on the dating. Nothing like being humbled to put you back on the bench, okay? Like, nothing like it. I'm blending this out with my Morphe M204 brush. So directly after that, life was pretty chill. You know, I was working, and then I have been wanting to get a new car. So back right before I moved to the DMV, I moved up here in late July of 2022. Oh my gosh, this year is my 4-year anniversary of living here. I can't believe I've lived here this long, especially because I don't like it so much. But I was driving, it was a week after graduation, maybe 2 weeks after college graduation. I was driving down to South Carolina to one of my friend's college graduation parties, and I got into a car accident and totaled my car. I was distraught. And by distraught, I mean I'm literally about to move to a whole different state in like 2 months. I now have to buy a new car. I'm already saving up to move up here. Like, hello, this is just a lot for a 22-year-old girl. It was the first taste of adulting, not gonna lie. Thank God my mom had my grandma's old car at the house, so I was able to drive that. So since May of 2022 all the way up until March of this year, I have been driving my grandmother's old car. Honestly, it wasn't a big deal in the beginning, because when I first moved up here, I was supposed to be moving overseas. So I was like, oh, I'm only driving it for a year. But once that got canceled, I was like, okay, I'm still driving this car. And there was nothing wrong with the car. It was a Nissan Altima. That Nissan was good and faithful, honey, good and faithful. But I personally just wanted a new car. It was kind of on my list of things that I wanted, and I wanted to, of course, give my mom back the car. Like, it was her car, she was letting me use it. So I've been thinking about getting it. I was going back and forth. I knew what kind of car I wanted. I wanted a white Jeep Grand Cherokee, all white exterior. I wanted to basically get the car I had gotten before, but the newer models. So the car I had gotten, my first car was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was actually my dad's old car, and he gave it to me. So it was a very nice car for it to be my first car, but it was a white Jeep Grand Cherokee, all tan interior, y'all. I love that car. Like, the car's name was Kappa because my dad is a Kappa and he had Kappa plates on it, so we just called the car Kappa. Kappa had... Uno momento. Hello?
Why do you always answer the phone like you don't know who this is?
Hey girl, can I call you back in like 30 minutes? I'm actually filming right now.
Oh shoot, yeah.
I really love that car, and that car, like, I just was not thinking about giving that up. And I'm not gonna lie, when I got into the car accident, number one, I was fine. I was safe, nothing happened, which is the number one blessing because I had actually crashed that car twice. That's not funny, but like, I had gotten into, I think I had gotten into 2 car accidents in that car, and both times I walked away. No, it was one. Was it 2? Child, the fact that I can't remember is crazy. But I had gotten into a car accident, and both times I had walked away perfectly, like no scratches, nothing, thank God. Since it was my first car, it was a bigger car. It was an SUV, and something about me, I know I'm not a mom, but I like mom cars. Like, I like really big cars, and once you start driving a really big car, it's a really big adjustment to go down to a sedan. Not a bad thing, but it's just a different driving experience to like be closer to the ground, be in a smaller car. When I first started driving when I was 16, I had gotten into a car accident, and it was in a sedan, so I think it just kind of reminded me of that. It was kind of just like readjusting to being back in a sedan. All that to say, I knew eventually I was gonna have to get a new car, and that like I wanted a new car. I knew I wanted the same version of the previous car in a newer model just because I really liked that car so much. And I had started looking back in October of 2025, and I had gone to the dealership, looked at the car, and honestly I was just like, I'm not paying all that money. Are you crazy? I didn't end up getting the car then. Fast forward, I had been keeping my eye on the car because not a lot of dealerships have a white exterior, white exterior, tan interior Jeep. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on this car, and like, God, if the car is still there, when the price looks right and I'm ready to buy it, then I know it's meant to be my car. And if it's not there, it's just not meant to be, and I'm gonna be patient and wait for the right car to come. So I was keeping my eye on it, and you know they try to get you. The car might not be here in a little while, yada yada yada. Y'all, 6 months later, that car was still on the lot. Like, I'm like, now what? So yeah, at that point I was like, okay, it's March. Of course I've been saving up since I was keeping an eye on the car, and so I was like, okay, I'm ready to buy the car. So I drove down. I was working with one of the guys at the dealership, and honestly he was being a little too unresponsive for me, which I understand you want me to be there in person, but like, I'm driving down from Virginia to North Carolina to buy the car. Like, I need you to respond to me just a little bit. So I had gone down in person, and I had to go with my mom. Like, I know I'm 26 and technically an adult, but when you really think about it, I'm like a 4-year-old adult. Like, that's how long I've been there. Like, I needed my mom to be there for the process. So I went to North Carolina. We ended up getting the car. I think we were in and out of the dealership in like 3 or 4 hours. We tried to negotiate it down, but you know, they weren't budging really too much, but we got the price down just a little bit, which saved me a little coin, thank you. But I got the car, and I was so excited and just happy, and it just made like the wait of waiting for the right time, the right price, very worth it, because I was able to get the car that I wanted without like compromising anything about the process. Everything was just perfect. It ended up being such a cool car buying experience. I ended up working with a different guy than who I originally went to when I test drove the car. When I originally test drove the car, I drove it with my dad, and then I ended up buying the car with my mom. So it was like both of my parents were there throughout the buying process, so that was really cool. But of course I have some clips from the day, so I'm going to insert that in here now. It is currently Friday, March 20th, and we are getting ready to go to Charlotte to get a new car. I have so much to say about this, but what I will say is all glory to God, because it's been a journey. Currently 4:50 a.m. and I want to head on the road. Trying to beat the DMV traffic. If you know, you know. Do you want to say anything to the people?
Hello, people. We are at the Jeep dealership buying a new car. Not for me, but guess who?
Me. I don't think I've made a vlog since I have braces now. I'm a little train track in the mouth, but they're doing paperwork. We have to sign. I'll get some footage for signing. Well, I'll have my mom get some footage for signing. She's gonna be sitting there with 2 cameras in her hand. She'll be in her influencer era. 1, 2. Wait, what? Let me come out. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, big mama, big mama, big mama, big me wet when he call me big. Yeah, when he call me big mama, yeah, that get the coochie wet. I better stick to TikToking, mean that without disrespect. I was a virgin before I met you, baby. I don't have an ex. Thought I told you bitches I pull up in 20 Cadillacs. Yeah, money long, cheetah thong, thick as hell, Georgia don't. Sharing niggas, sharing clothes. I don't don't know what y'all be on. Y'all go for shit, I would it. I'm on 300 a book. Bitch, I don't.
God is so good. Like, I'm finna play Keep On Blessing because, like, God be blessing. God be blessing.
Big mama, he love his big mama. Big mama, big mama.
God is so good. Taste and see. Like, that's all I have to say is taste and see. Like, look and see what the Lord has done. Like, look in your life and see what the Lord has done. I'm in my dream car. Not dream, but like my right now dream car, and I'm driving it off the lot with literally 15 miles on it. And if you would have told me 8 months ago that this was gonna be my reality right now, baby, might not have believed you, but God will literally blow your expectations. And wow. You know, but I felt so grateful. It was a new car. Like, I remember driving it off the lot, like taking my pictures, and my mom was driving the old car back home, and I just was like driving, and it felt like so surreal. If you've ever gotten a new car, you know that first ride home is just like, bro, I have a new car, like what the heck. And it felt real blissful until the next month I had to pay that car payment, and I was like, okay. It felt like such an adult thing to do, to like get my first car. And yeah, I was just so grateful that my parents were able to help me throughout the process, as far as like knowing what to say, knowing what questions to ask. And I ended up getting some warranties on the car, and I'm so glad I did, because probably like 2 months later I had a screw in my tire, so I didn't have to pay anything to get that fixed. Like, I had always heard that warranties are like a waste of money, and it's just the dealership wanting to make money and yada yada yada, which I totally agree with. I mean, they want to make money at the end of the day, but it also paid off because I didn't have to pay for that. I just took it to the dealer and they fixed it within like an hour or two, and so it worked out perfectly. So yeah, we got a new car. I ended up naming my car Aubrey as in Aubrey Drake Graham. Yes. His name is Aubrey. I'm gonna go in with this Juvia's Place bronzer. It's like this cream bronzer, I think. It might be a cream contour because this is pretty deep on me, but I'm gonna go in and just add that to around here, and I'm not putting a lot. And that was in the shade Mahogany. I was just really grateful in that moment because God orchestrated that perfectly. Like, I couldn't have put that together better myself, and everything just worked out exactly the way it should have. And it was also just a lesson in being patient and waiting for God's timing, and he just showed out in a way that I just couldn't have ever orchestrated by myself, which he always does. People pray for patience. It's one thing to pray for it, it's another to actually go through the lesson to get it. It just felt really good to kind of accomplish that and knock it off my bucket list. Not my bucket list, but like, you know, when you get something that you wanted for a while, it just feels very like, oh. I feel like I put like none of that on and it's still so much. Another thing I have been working on is decentering my job, and I actually uploaded a Substack on it recently, which I'm gonna try to upload on there weekly, just kind of like my thoughts and what I'm thinking. I feel like a lot of people document the journey once you get there, but I kind of want to document like what it's like actually going through it. I feel like I am somebody who has always been very ambitious and career driven and all the things, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I just really want to detach the idea of my job being a part of my identity, just because in this job market they can decide tomorrow that I necessary or that I just am no longer where the company is going. It can go any way. I went through that before where it was such a huge part of my identity, and when it didn't work out I was like left in the wind a little bit, as far as like, oh my gosh, like I kind of made this job my everything, as far as like, okay, I've been working so hard and I finally reached this pinnacle and blah 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 blah, all the things, and you have just decided you're going in a different direction, and I now have to make a decision that's best for me. And it just felt like this big wash. I went through this whole like grief process of feeling like, oh shoot, like everything I've worked for was for what? Here I am like now having to actively go through finding another job just due to the environment of the work. Like it just became a racist environment, and like it was just full of like a lot of things. It was my first real lesson. I was 24 when it happened, and it was like, oh shoot, like I should probably start looking for another job right now. And I remember the crazy thing is I had put that place on my kind of bucket list of places I wanted to work. I was like, this is like my dream job. And I remember making that bucket list when I was in college of like companies I wanted to work for. And sure enough, they recruited me my junior year of college. And so I went to work for them directly after I graduated. And I was like, this is my dream job, blah, 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 blah. Y'all, that dream became a nightmare. And I remember one time, like, my college best friend had asked me, oh my gosh, that must be so, like, crazy because you were so excited about this job and it's just slowly turned into, like, a ish show. And I was just kind of like, dang, when you put it like that, like, I really was. And I think because I was so amped up, like, you know when you sacrifice a lot for something, you get to that pinnacle and it's like, okay, all of my work meant something. Like the sacrifices I made, not going to parties, making certain decisions in relationships, like all of these different things worked out. And I kind of was faced with like, okay, maybe this didn't work out. Maybe I moved up here for this job. Like I did all of these things and this how y'all gonna do me? That's crazy. That's what we feeling like. It was just my first lesson in like, girl, you don't run nothing, you get ran. When it comes to a 9 to 5, like that was like, oh, you think you run this? No, you're part of a bigger organization, and in fact we tell you what to do, sweetie. So that was sobering. I remember thinking in the moment when everything was happening, I was like, why did I move up here? Why did I do all this stuff? And instead of thinking like that, I was just kind of like, I met some amazing people when I moved up here. Like if I had not been at that job, I would have never met them. Like lifelong friends, mentors, friends, like true friends, not like work friends, like true friends. I ended up meeting people that meant so much to me. And so it was just like, okay, this isn't all for anything, but like you do go through a grief process of like, dang, okay, I have to readjust. And I found myself with this job. You guys know I work in tech. I've been at this company for 8 months and technically 9, I think. And I was just like, oh shoot, I find myself kind of getting back into that rat race. And this isn't a lesson I want to have to learn twice. You know how they say if you don't learn the lesson the first time, like you're gonna get the same lesson over and over until you learn it. And I didn't want to have to learn the job being your identity lesson again. That was a tough one. I've recently just been like, okay, let me kind of put some boundaries in place. Like we're not gonna be online till 10 11 p.m. That's not happening, which I did with my first job when I moved here. When I was at that first job, I would go to work, I would leave for work at 7, I would come back home around 5, I would go home, watch a little TV, sit down, eat dinner, then I would go back into the office because if you got a day full of meetings and you can't actually get any work done, you know what we doing here. So I would go back into the office and try to catch up on work, and it was like my entire life revolved around this job. I almost felt like, and I hate to say this and it sounds crazy for me to say this now, but I felt entitled to some kind of coverage or loyalty because I had given up so much for this job. And it's like, you didn't have to do that. So for me, like one of the big signs that like my life is revolving around work is I am a night owl. I get a lot of done. I have really sharp, clear thinking in the evening. I'm not a morning person, but like if you see me up at 11 or 12, I be in my bed editing, working on work. Like I just, that 10 p.m. slot be like my prime time. And I found myself logged on to work at like 11 p.m., which just reminded me of how I was working and like how I would leave work and go back to work. And I was just kind of like, dang, yeah, we're not gonna repeat this cycle. I've just kind of been like slowly implementing things. There are times, I'm not gonna lie, because I am career driven and I do care about my work, there are times that I'm logged on late. If I have like something big coming up, I don't mind doing it, but I try not to make it a regular occurrence. Instead of just freely giving that time to my job, I now use that time for content and like things that I really like and I'm passionate about. Cultivating hobbies in order to stop me from working late into the evening, because I'll just look up and it'll just be the evening time. Like that's just me. To stop that, instead, I schedule things in the afternoon so that I'm forced to stop working. A workout class, I'll schedule that at like 4:35, so like I have to stop working around that like 3:30, 4 o'clock time frame. Or I'll schedule dinner with friends so I know I have to get ready and I'm like, oh shoot, this is a good time to film. Like things like that that stop me from working late into the evening, and I treat them the same as like I treat a meeting at work. Instead of being like, oh let me cancel, or oh let me push this back, the same way I'm like, I don't cancel a work meeting if I don't have to. Those same things I apply to the things in my life. Like if I can give that same commitment to my job, I can give that same commitment to the things that I love and care about. Another thing that's like super small, but it really does work mentally, is when I am talking about what I do for work. Instead of saying I am a XYZ, I now say I work as an XYZ. It just mentally detaches my identity from the job title in that moment when I say it, because it's like a conscious decision of like, oh, I'm not an XYZ, I work as an XYZ, and that can constantly change. So one day I can say I work as an XYZ, and then another day if things change I can say I work as an ABC. You know what I mean? Like nothing about me changes if I say I work as compared to when I say I am. It just gives it a lot more power. Like the same way you do affirmations in the mirror and you're like, I am powerful, I am XYZ. I'm like saying that over my life of I am XYZ, and it just feels like this big kind of like detaching moment when you have to remove that. Wait, I really like this makeup. I'm gonna do an OG setting spray, so I'm gonna start with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip and Refresh Spray. I'm just gonna spray this. Oh! Oh my gosh. Wait. That was crazy. It came out in a stream on the side of my face. That was so crazy. Do y'all see all this on the side of my face? That was insane, actually. Oh my gosh. But outside of setting those boundaries, work is going well. You know, when you start a new job, you feel like a fish out of water, and I finally feel like I'm getting to a place where I'm starting to understand like things. I don't have to go to other people on my team and be like, hey, how do you do this real quick? You got time to hop on a huddle? Like, I don't have to do any of that. I'm also moving this year, so that's gonna be fun. We'll have some new moving content, decor content, and I'm really excited to do that with you guys, because I'm just doing a whole new decor. Like, I'm over the all white, y'all. I really like all white because during the winter my place feels so bright and airy, which can really help with like just the seasonal sadness. I'm also going to go in with the leftover powder and powder my lips. I just want something a little bit more neutral, moody. I think that's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. I'm literally getting rid of everything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my dressers are going, this vanity is going because I just need a lot more storage. My couch, I already got rid of one of them. I just have a couch in there so like it doesn't look like a bachelor pad, but that's going away too. I'm decluttering my closet, decluttering my clothes. Like, I just want to feel like a fresh start when I go into my new place, and so I'm not really bringing any kind of anything there besides like my clothes and personal effects. I'm gonna go in with the YSL Kiss Shaper Liner. You guys know I've been loving this recently. This is in the shade 110. Yeah, I don't think it has shade names. I'm gonna go in with this You Can Be All Day Fixer Matte Finishing Spray, or Finish Mist. Let me make sure this comes out okay, because we can't have a repeat. I also have a lot more hair content coming up for you guys. I do want to talk about like my hair journey. This is my natural curls right now, and you know, I'm trying to grow them to waist length. My hair straight is waist length now, which is crazy. I'm gonna do a whole nother like hair journey video, but my hair used to be waist length straight when I was relaxed, and then then I went natural, and of course you know that involved cutting my hair off. My hair is waist length basically. It's probably like a few inches shorter than waist length straight, but I really want it to be waist length curly, just because I feel like, I don't know, that'd be so cute and big and curly. I'm gonna be doing a hair vlog at the end of the month, kind of taking you guys through my hair care routine, what I do, how I style it month to month, how I take care of it, all the things, and how it changes from month to month. So I thought that would be a nice cute little video to throw into the rotation. So hopefully you guys like that idea. I have a lot of ideas for the channel coming up. I'm feeling freshly inspired. I also think having kind of the boundaries at work is once again gonna help with, you know, creating content, because I'm putting parameters in place to be able to create content. I don't know how I feel about the gloss on the inside. I normally go in with the Buxom Cosmetics in Blushing Margarita. That's like my favorite lip gloss on the inside. And we are all caught up. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. We are not gonna go this long again. I know I said that last time, and technically we didn't go as long as we did the last time. So we're getting better. You know, now that we have these things, these parameters in place for work, I really think this is gonna be it. But I'm super locked in right now with you guys. We like this. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye, girl.